things that are not going to be in a water cooler. Yeah, I get it. But really, are we that choosy about the water? I don't know. Just struck me as kind of crazy. So I just wanted to hit this little bit of news before I move on to the topic. Instagram today making some changes. They are limiting the amount of likes that people will see on your feed. Apparently, this is how it's working. You will see all of the likes on your page, but not everybody else will. This is their attempt at trying to make it less of a popularity contest, I'm guessing. Although, what is Instagram and Facebook except a popularity contest? You put up a picture so people will like it. Seems a little counterproductive to me. I get what they're trying to do. I applaud what they're trying to do. I don't think it's going to work. But that's just my opinion. So I'm going to move on to my topic. And since I was flying yesterday, I thought that I would talk about the fact that we all know how uncomfortable airplanes are. The seats are tiny. Like, I always feel huge in these seats. And granted, I was a little bit bigger on the ride home than on the ride there. Even though really all I had was turkey sandwiches. That's honest to God. That's all I had was turkey sandwiches. I mean, I put Doritos inside the sandwich and then had them as a side. I'm not saying I ate great, but I went to Walmart on my first day. Bought myself some turkey, some cheese, some bread, some horseradish cream sauce, big bag of Doritos, box of Little Debbie's. I was set for the week. I plan to have that for lunch every day. Walk back from the venue. We had an hour and a half for lunch every day. Walk back from the venue, made myself a sandwich. The first night, that's when I decided to go to the networking event. And I thought, instead of trying to go out and find a dinner and wait, because the first day of the conference was insane. Nobody could get food anywhere. The lines were just unbelievable. So I'm like, you know what? I'll make myself another turkey sandwich, have one for lunch. Now I'll have one for dinner. Then I'll go over to the networking event. I'll come home. I'll have a Little Debbie, and I'll go to bed. So that's what I did. Next day, had my turkey for lunch. Came back. That was the day I had wanted to try this one restaurant. But that was the day Rachel spoke until about 7:15. And by the time I got home, I was so exhausted. And I knew that the restaurants would be so insane because not only did everybody get out at the same time, but it was Friday night. So I was like, all right, I don't want a turkey sandwich for dinner, but I will go down to the hotel restaurant and order food and bring it up to my room, which is what I did. And then I ate way too much. Okay, because they gave me these 4 huge meatballs and called it an appetizer. I realized that I don't normally have 4 meatballs at a meatball sandwich. I usually only have 3. And they weren't nearly as big as this. But I ate that along with my chicken salad. I ate them all. I ate everything because I just do that. So the next day, last day, come back, make my turkey sandwich for lunch, go back out. I was going to order from this place. I had looked online at places that were close to me. Carolina Crab House. That was my destination for Friday. You could even order it for delivery. That was my plan. Then somebody put up on the group page, hey, I have an extra bracelet for the dance party, if anybody would like it. It costs extra to go to the dance party, which I did not pay for. I thought, get me a free one. I can come home, get my Carolina Crab House, go to the dance party. But at lunch, it occurred to me, I had a lot of turkey left. I had a lot of cheese left. A lot of Doritos left. I even left a Little Debbie in the hotel room. So I decided that I was not going to go to the Carolina Crab House, even though it was the only chance I was going to get for God knows how long, because I didn't want to throw away all that food when I had paid for it. So I've had a lot of turkey sandwiches in the last couple of days, which I'm not crazy about, but I also had a hell of a lot of Doritos, and that I am happy about, because you know I love my Doritos. So when we were flying back, I'm feeling huge in my chair. Like I said, I'm not that big of a person. I always talk about my weight. I could stand to lose 10. I could probably stand to lose 20 pounds. I'd be happy to lose 5. But my point is there's people that are much bigger than me. How I feel like I was spilling out onto the people next to me. Like, how do these larger people fit in a seat? How? I don't know how. So, right away, the person in front of me reclines their seat. And so I wanted to hear from you. When traveling by air, do you recline your seat? And the predominant amount of people say no. But there are some quid pro quos, shall we say. Some people were saying when the person in front of me reclines. Kathy says, only if the jerk in front of me is in my lap. Then I have no choice, but I do not usually. Now, I have not flown a lot in the last couple of years, but back in the time when I remember one time I reclined my seat and the person behind me literally freaked out on me. She's like, oh my God, you are in my lap. You're in my lap. That's what she's saying to me. I'm like, holy crap, all right, I'll put my seat up. God, lady. Thanks for making me feel like an idiot for doing the thing that they tell you can do once the seatbelt signs are off. God. So, yes. Laurie says yes. I recline my seat. Sarah Jo says always. Kimmy says if someone in front of me reclines, then I recline. Otherwise, I feel kind of claustrophobic. Marcy says yes, but not all the way. I don't even know how you can do it halfway. Like, I feel like I just push the button and it stops almost immediately. Melissa says for international flights, yes. That's way too long and sleeping is needed. Not normally on a quick flight, though. Of course, this was a very quick flight. It was an hour and a half. Now, Jay says, I just got off a 9-hour flight. Yes, I reclined, and so did the person in front of me. I wouldn't have been able to sit upright that entire time. Luckily, it was my daughter behind me. I wouldn't decline if I was taking a quick flight to Florida. Let's see. Mina says a red eye, yes. Regular, not usually. Red eye is a good point. That's a good exception. Kathy says no, I stay in my own space. Ann says no because I hate when people come into my space. And Jim says not even worth invading the space of the person behind you for the teeny tiny little it reclines. Have you ever noticed this? When you recline your seat back, it doesn't feel like it goes back really at all to me. It feels like it's just barely moved. But when you put your seat back up, you're like, whoa. It's just like you're a straight board. You're like, whoa. So, yeah, I don't even bother anymore. But then I don't travel on long flights. So I imagine it is different if you're traveling on a 10-hour flight, what have you. I just don't want to get yelled at again. That lady scared the bejesus out of me. She made me feel terrible for doing something I was allowed to do. It's just not worth it, people. It's just not worth it, especially for an hour and a half, 2-hour flight. So I will move along to my blog post for the day. And oh, the words of wisdom. Oh, I've got so much to tell you all. Rachel has changed my life, and I'm going to change your life. Get ready to learn all the things. So the first thing I decided to tackle with the new me, the new Wendy, the Hopefulist, is to talk about how dumb you are getting. That's right. Your smartphone. Is it making you dumb? I do believe it is. Don't get me wrong. I have a smartphone, just like you, just like most other people. I even have one of the latest versions of the iPhone. Well, I did until this past September when they released the 11. I had the 10. I will have that bad boy for many years to come, though, because it is so darn expensive. But what I've been thinking about is, do they call it a smartphone because it helps make you smart? Or does it, in fact, make you dumb? Now, I know they're really referring to the phone. I get that. The phone is smart. but I am going to say that indeed it is making you dumb in all different ways. So as mentioned, I just got back from Rise Business. As Rachel Hollis entered the stage on day one, she laughed at all of us because she said, every one of you is standing there with a phone in front of your face recording me. She urged us to put our phones away and be present. Do you remember that picture of the old woman that went viral while seeing the Pope go by? I believe it was the Pope going by. Every single person in that picture was holding a phone in front of their face, except for one little old lady who had the biggest smile as she took in the Pope riding past and waving. I'm not going to say that I didn't record any parts of the conference because I did, but I'm trying to be more conscious of how much I put into my pictures and videos and, the process of taking them. It really does take away from the experience, any experience. You know this. I don't have to tell you this. It is so much better to look at experience through your eyes and not through the screen of your phone. First of all, have you noticed how things look smaller and further away on the screen of your phone? Second, you aren't giving the experience its proper due. You are fiddling with your phone, trying to keep it straight, the subject in the shot at all times, making sure you don't drop it. I've done this during concerts, at speaking events, even taking sunrise and sunset pictures. I had gotten to a point where once I got my picture of the sun rising over the beautiful waters of New Jersey, I turned around and went home. I need to see it in real life because I had a picture. What has happened to me? I stopped enjoying things in the moment so I could relive them over and over again in the future. But is it really the same? No, of course it isn't. And that's not going to be memorable. It's not going to be memorable for you to walk up to the beach, snap a picture, turn around and go home. Yes, it's a nice little, screensaver for your phone, what have you. But just take a picture and then sit down and watch the sun come up. Same thing with the sun going down. What I try to do now is enjoy the present moment, take a picture or two, then back to the present moment. Drink it in. Be mindful. Savor the moments. This is what life is about. I was a little sad that I didn't get Rachel's amazing rap at the end of the conference. But guess what? Videos posted everywhere. One of them is the last 40 freaking minutes. It's the same thing with concerts or any public event you are attending. Go on YouTube. I assure you, someone will have posted it within minutes. Smartphones are killing our memory as well, and I don't have a good one to begin with. We don't ever have to try to figure out anything we don't remember anymore. We just have to Google it. Our brain never has to have any retention. If a muscle isn't used, it gets lazy. That includes our brain. Remember when you heard a song on the radio and you couldn't remember the name of it or the band, and of course the DJ would never give you the info. Like when there was a song you wanted them to shut up about, they would talk. But when there was a song you were dying to know what the artist was, nope, not a peep. Not going to talk about it. You'd have to search it out and try to find it yourself. I once spent all day in my bedroom with a boombox waiting to hear You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette. Waiting to hear it again so I could record and hopefully get the info about the artist and the song. Now, the first time I heard this song, it blew me away. We did not have songs like that on the radio back then. It was so passionate. It was so powerful. It was so angry. And the first time I heard it, I was in awe. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know the name of the song. I knew nothing. I sat in my room all day next to a boombox, holding onto the record button, waiting for it to play again. It took all day. All day. That is how much it meant to me to get that song. So, are you saying to yourself, yeah, now you don't have to waste a whole day doing something stupid like that? I agree to an extent. I will always remember that day and the elation I felt when they finally played the song again.